Welcome back. You're tuned into Market Fatafat, where we are taking you through all the stocks that are buzzing away in trade. And now on the technicals, we are joined by CA Rudramurthy, who's the BV MD of Vachana Investments. And of course, let's get started with all the stocks with you, CA Rudra. Let's get you picked out IDFC Bank for us. Rudra, tell us, this counter, in the last 6 months hasn't done anything. In fact, it's only the last, past 1 month that it's given a slight bit of moves coming there. Tell us, what are you penciling in for this counter on the charts?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me in the show. See, IDFC Bank has made a long consolidation now for last 3.5-4 months, and only now it has given a breakout above levels of 1460. Now sustaining above these levels of 1460 for last 2 trading session confirms to me that the short-term breakout above 1460 will hold. So I am looking at targets of 1530 to come initially. Stock available in futures, one can definitely go long in IDFC Bank, looking for targets of 1530 initially and keep a stop loss at 1450, which is just below the breakout level.
Alright, that's about IDFC Bank, but moving on to the next counter then, the next stock that we're going to put the spotlight on is Uno Minda, because today Goldman Sachs has come out with a note after they met with the management where they are saying that Suzo Innovance is happy to invest in a minority share in electric four-wheeler parts capacity build-up, and they have strong content-led order backlog expansion to help the offset growth in the moderation that is seen in the domestic car market. Now the capacity addition at the OEM customer is supportive of the medium-term structural growth visibility. They have ample personalizations related kit value addition coming up in the domestic car, two-wheeler and electric vehicle markets, and there are indeed durable tailwinds for premiumization, exports and products. So on the back of these positive commentaries coming in from the Goldman Sachs note, the stock is gaining in trade today, almost at the day's highest point, up around 1.5%.
All right, coming to you, Varun, you picked out Macrotech Developers for us. Another one buzzing on the back of a brokerage note. Tell us, Nomura has come out with a note on Macrotech. It's up and away 3.5%. Tell us, what is the note saying?
Basically initiated their coverage on Macrotech Developers, giving a target of around 1600 and a buy call. So the 1600 target implies upside of around 30% from yesterday's closing. They say that the company has solid earnings visibility and they expect the pre-sales for this company to grow at a CAGR of around 20% from FY25 to 26. Also, the company has been reducing debt and they expect that the operating cash flows for the companies, operating free cash flows for the companies would be around 6,500 crores in FY25. The company's township business, Palava, is on the cusp of infra upgrades and you may see volume growth and price growth in that project. And that's the reason they say there is high visibility of re-rating triggers, and that's the reason they have initiated coverage with an upside of 30% and a price target of 1600.
All right, moving on from Macrotech Developers to another counter that was buzzing at least in the morning. It was up 3.5% in the morning, has given up those all those gains. In fact, it is right now at the day's lowest point. It's slipped into the red, trading with cuts of 0.4% is Vedanta. Now, what's the news flow on Vedanta? The fact that Moody has raised its rating for Vedanta Resources to CAA2, and they've also revised their outlook from negative to now stable. And on the back of that, Vedanta was buzzing in the morning. But also another piece of news that's coming in is that John Slevin, who's the CEO of aluminium business, has tendered his resignation. So that's another piece of news that's coming in on Vedanta. But on the back of the upgradation by Moody's, it was trading in gains with gains of over 3.5%, has now given up those gains and has succumbed to the selling pressure.
Well, yes, that's a little bit surprising that how Vedanta has come off almost 4% from the day's highest point, but indeed a positive news flow coming in at the start of the day. We're moving on to the next query, next stock to highlight there, and this one is coming in on AIT Parry as well as Balrampur Chini. Why these stocks are in focus today and in spotlight? Let's go across to Varun to find out more.
So the sugar stocks are in focus today, and these two stocks, AIT Parry and Balrampur Chini, are showing good gains of around 2%. The news is government has allowed sugar mills to produce rectified spirits and extra neutral alcohol from sugarcane juice and from B-heavy molasses. If you remember, in December 2023, government has banned sugar juice and B-heavy molasses from manufacturing of rectified spirits. Now this approval has been given, and that's the reason whole of your sugar space is buzzing in trade today, and AID Perry and Balrampur Chini are those stocks which are buzzing with gold volumes and around 2-2.5% upside.
Alright then, that's about both of these sugar counters in focus and the news flow around that. But indeed, a great listing coming in for Bajaj Housing Finance, a bumper listing indeed. 135% of gain is what these holders of Bajaj Finance, they have registered at the start of the day itself, because it's at 150 rupees was the first tick that was registered on NSE as well as BSE. The stock got listed at 150 rupees versus an issue price of just 70 rupees, making all the investors really happy, and indeed all the lucky ones, because for now as well, the stock is locked at an upper circuit of 135%.
Absolutely locked in the upper circuit is the Bajaj Housing Finance after that stellar listing. But after a blockbuster debut that we saw on D Street, TT Now's Ankur Mishra spoke with Sanjeev Bajaj, who's the chairman of Bajaj Housing Finance. So let's go across and listen into what he had to say about the listing.
We've had very strong growth, but this is in the background of a very strong, consistently growing economy. And if you look at credit cycles in India, we expect steady credit growth at 12 to 15% in the housing industry. And on the back of that, we are enthused that we can continue to grow strongly. The economy is showing very strong tailwinds, and that's what gives us this comfort. Shareholders should expect a business that grows with high quality, a high level of corporate governance, that brings the right blend of technology in this particular business, and sustained growth with high focus on quality of the business and a diversified book is what we look forward to building.
Alright then, that was the management of Bajaj Housing Finance. But Rudra, coming to you for the next stock, and that is PVR Inox. Tell us, how are you spotting this particular chart on the technical front, and what are the next targets?
See, for me, there is a rounding bottom formation in PVR very clearly, and it also gave a breakout at levels closer to 1560. Clearly, the stock is making this up move with rising top, rising bottom formation, and if you see last 2 days also, there has been a support from volumes for the price action what you have seen. So for me, PVR is a clear buy at current market price. No doubt for last 2 days it is going up non-stop. Even open interest built up is seen on the positive side. So looking to buy PVR at current market price or on dips to 1680, and keep a stop loss of 1650 and look at targets of around 1800 and then 2000 to come on PVR. So a clear buy, someone who wants to take a position even in F&O, you can go long in PVR in futures, keeping a stop loss of 1650. I am looking at targets of around 1800 and 2000 to come on PVR.
Alright, that's PVR Inox on the charts for you. But on the back of news flow, ONGC is in focus today. In fact, ONGC announced that its wholly owned subsidiary ONGC Green has signed a share purchase agreement with PTC India for the acquisition of 100% equity stake in PTC Energy or PEL. PEL has an aggregate operational wind generation capacity of 288 megawatts located in Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. Now it operates a total of 157 wind turbine generators across all of its wind farms. ONGC has got a new director to spearhead its new energy, petrochemicals and the corporate strategy as a part of a board revamp that is aimed at breathing fresh life into the state-controlled behemoth. Arunakshu Sarkar has been appointed as the director of strategy and corporate affairs for ONGC. So two news flows coming in for ONGC. Currently, it is trading with gains of 0.3%.
Alright, that's about ONGC, but from the IT space, let's talk about HCL Tech. This counter is in focus as CLSA has come out with its note today, where they continue maintaining a hold rating on this one with a target price of 1556 rupees. Though the target price is lower than the current market price, but the commentary is seen to be on the positive side. The CLSA is highlighting that the demand environment due to BFSI as well as Gen AI opportunities look good ahead. There is a growth potential in the medium to longer term for the industry and as well as HCL Tech. And the Gen AI opportunity, HCL Tech believes that the Gen AI can facilitate migration of the legacy code. On the back of this news flow, on the back of this report, actually, this stock is in focus, almost flat in trade right now.
All right, coming to you again, Rudra, you picked out Biocon for us. Tell us, this counter is hovering around its 52-week high right now. Is there more steam left? What are the up moves that you see from this counter?
See, for me, Biocon gave a breakout above 375-380 zone and it consolidated now for a week's time. Now, Biocon looks very much ready to move further higher from here, and stock is definitely showing that signs of higher top and higher bottom formation. So I am looking at an initial target of 425, 430 to come on Biocon. Again, stock available in futures. One can definitely buy at current market price, and on every dips to 385, 387, that range one can accumulate more of Biocon. Keep a stop loss of 385 and look at targets of 425 initially to come on Biocon.
All right, that's about Biocon. But from the financial space, Edelweiss Financial is up in trade right now, and it was indeed we have seen multiple blocks happening in this one. Let's get more details from Varun. Varun, tell us what's happening with this particular stock.
So the stock is up around 4 to 5%. In the early trade, it was around 6 to 7%. Rightly said that there was a block deal in the stock on Friday. Around 1.6% equity changed hands on Friday, and Edelweiss Employee Welfare Trust has sold around 98.7 lakh shares at the rate of 124. But look at the list of the buyers. It was Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Ashoka India Equity Investment Trust, India Econ. These were the funds who have bought good chunk. Around 6 lakh shares to 56 lakh shares were bought by some of these funds. And that's the reason the stock is trading with good volumes today. If you look at last 5-day average volumes, it was around 63 lakhs for the stock. And today in NSE, if you look, it is around 1.7 crore shares. So the volumes in the stock is today very high, and the stock is trading at around 4 to 5% higher in today's trade.
All right, that's Edelweiss Financials for you. But moving on to the row that's been happening at the Samsung factory. The production at Samsung's plant near Chennai has been disrupted, with hundreds of employees protesting for the last few days, demanding recognition of the newly formed union, improved wages and reduction in the working hours. Now, meanwhile, Samsung India has issued a statement that they have initiated discussions with their workers to resolve all the issues at the earliest. Let's go across to Dharani Balasubramaniam for more details on this.
This protest has been going on for the past few days, and Samsung has two major factories in India, one in Noida and one in Sriperumbudur, which is near to Chennai. So this factory in Chennai, close to Chennai alone, has 1,700 employees, around 1,700 employees. Almost 3/4 of them, they are under strike now, and they are refusing to go back to their work, because of which the operation in this particular Samsung plant has been disrupted very badly. So when we spoke to Mr. Veera Raghavarao IAS, who is the Secretary of the Labour Department here in the government of Tamil Nadu, he told us that the government is trying to initiate mediation talks between the Samsung company and the protesting workers. The government is doing everything in its power to provide administer mediation talks between the Samsung company and the protesting workers. And so far 3 such meetings have been held in supervision of the government, but no compromise has been arrived at. So still now the workers are continuing their protest, and they have 3 major demands. One is to improve their wages. Their wages want to be increased, is what they are telling. And apart from that, 2 months back they formed a union within the company. The workers formed a union for themselves. This union is called Samsung India Workers Union, SIWU. So the workers want this union to be recognized by the company, but the company is refusing to recognize this union. The company is refusing to provide any kind of response to the letters and the petitions submitted by the workers in connection with the formation of this union. So they are demanding that the company should recognize their union, and that this union should be registered in the company's records, is what they are demanding. And the third demand is that they want their work hours to be reduced from 9.5 hours to 8 hours.
All right then, but with this, it's time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Market Fatafat. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Market Fatafat, where we are taking you through all the stocks that are in focus today. Hero MotoCorp is a counter that is in focus today. In fact, it is trading flat with minor cuts. It is on the back of a UBS note that has come out, which is maintaining a sell with the target price of 3,350 rupees. Now, Hero, UBS is saying that Honda is confident of replacing Hero as the number one in FY25. In fact, Honda has already managed a narrow lead in the April to August dispatches. The Honda, according to the brokerage, the dealer inventory is also on par with the Hero, with Hero scooterization plus electrification is also hurting Hero MotoCorp, and on the back of that they're maintaining their sell on this counter, and on the back of that we can see Hero right now trading absolutely flat in the red.
All right, then moving on, let's shift focus to HUL. This FMCG major is in focus on the back of two major news flows actually. The first one is that the India has raised, the government has actually gone ahead and raised the basic import tax on crude as well as refined edible oils by 20 percentage points, and on the back of this news flow, it's not just HUL but the whole FMCG pack that is seen to be impacting on the negative front, be it Britannia, be it Nestle or even HUL that's down about 2%. But on the flip side, we also have a positive news flow and a positive note on HUL, wherein BofA today has come out with a note maintaining their buy rating and the target price is 3,010 rupees. What they're highlighting is that there is indeed a gradual pickup likely with the stable margin profile is what they're expecting. The company is leveraging its market development capabilities to tap into high growth spaces, and longer term, the company believes double-digit earnings CAGR is still possible. And on the back of these two news flows, HUL is in focus. But indeed, on the first news flow, rather, the stock is down about 2% in trade right now.
Absolutely, keeping it with HUL then, we did catch up with the management also. Is HUL likely to grow in the line with India's GDP? In this biggest interview that we had, we caught up with this former chairman and CEO of HUL, Sanjeev Mehta. Now let's listen into his views on HUL's growth story.
There is no other company in India, FMCG, which even comes close to 30,000 crore. We forget US will never grow at India's level. Yeah? But when US grows at that scale, a $25 trillion economy, at 2%, it adds significantly more than what you would be adding at 6% on a $4 trillion economy. Yeah. I'll give you another example. This is something which often people would... My last year, which was the fiscal year ending March 23, HUL added 8,000 crores as a delta turnover in the last year.
Which is almost what Patanjali had 3 years ago.
8,000 crores in India would be called a good-sized FMCG company. Yeah, we talk about disruption. You add together the total turnover of all the D2C brands, they would struggle to reach 8,000 crores.
So do you see HUL coming back in terms of growth to India's GDP number?
No question.
Okay.
No question. Over the years, running businesses of Unilever for 22 years, I've kind of codified what it takes to make a great company.
Okay.
Yeah. First is the mindset that you bring in, what I call as the growth mindset. In many ways, this is very similar. This codification applies to a nation also. Yeah. So first is the growth mindset. In our 30,000+ crores, we had added 10,000 crores of turnover from categories, excluding acquisitions, which didn't exist before. Yeah, like liquid detergents, like green tea, like fabric conditioners, like premium skincare. So in India, not only have you to straddle the price benefit pyramid, but you also have to invest in market development, creating categories of the future. The second axis of my troika of a high-performing company are distinctive capabilities which are hard to replicate.
Okay.
Let me pick two great examples. First is winning in many Indias. Winning in many Indias is looking at India from a very different lens. it is about, at its core, it is about de-averaging India, but very importantly, understanding the heterogeneity of Indian consumers. The tastes are different, the palate is different, the customs are different, the competitors are different, the per capita consumptions are different. Averaging India is a sin.
All right, then that's all about HUL and what's happening in the whole FMCG space. But moving on, let's talk about SAMIL then. And Rudra, this is the stock that you have picked up, and for the past 2 days, indeed a good momentum is what we have seen. But what are the next levels that you are eyeing at?
See, for me, this is a stock.
Go on.
Yeah, see, for me, this is a stock definitely showing good price action with volume backup. So I'm looking at targets of around 225 to 230 initially on SAMIL. Keep a stop loss of 180 on closing basis and buy every dip to 185. Yes, stock can do the 225 to 230 initially and even move towards 250, 260 zone. So with a stop loss of 180 on a closing basis, I'll be a buyer at current market price.
All right, with that we have come to an end of this show, and that was the last talk of the day. Amar, Rudra, Varun, thank you all three of you for joining us on the show. With that we will let you go, but thank you so much for tuning in. Shristi and I will take your leave. Don't go anywhere. Closing trades will take the market action forward.